Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time to my channel, hello, my name is Amethyst and I cosplay. So today I'm going to be showing you my basic cosplay makeup routine. So for the purposes of today's video, I'm going to be doing the makeup for this character right here, Miss Yo Watanabe from Love Live Sunshine. So today I've done my best to replicate the instances of a con morning. I'm tired, my face is red, my hair is a mess, and I have a nice cup of coffee here. So first things first, I wear glasses. So I put in contact lenses. You guys didn't need to see that. You guys, I'm sure, know how to put in contacts. So there's that. A lot of people like to pull their hair back with a headband. I prefer to just do it with my wig cap because I'm going to have to put the wig cap on anyways, and I don't want to drag it over my face of makeup. So I like to use these nice mesh wig caps. There's also stocking caps, but stocking caps are not as easy to use, in my opinion. This mesh wig cap, it has an opening on the top and on the bottom, so it's a nice little thing. I slip it right over my head, and then I'll grab everything except the band. I'll leave the band alone, and I will just situate the band right on my hairline. Now for me, it doesn't matter so much since I have such short hair, except for up at the top. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to leave it right here, and I'm going to pull the mesh around like that, and then I'm going to pull this up to sit right on my hairline. Tuck that in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and situate this where I want it. So now we're going to get started with some moisturizer, because Lord knows we're wearing makeup all weekend, so we need to have a moisturized face. This is the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm with sunscreen, broad spectrum SPF 30. So I'm going to take a pump of that on my fingers. I'm just going to rub it through, and I'm just going to apply it. I'm going to start on my cheeks where I'm the driest, and then I'm going to go middle of the forehead and the chin, and right on my nose. And then I'm going to take the excess, just rub it again, and then just massage it into my skin. So the things to note when you're doing cosplay makeup is a few things. A, what is the age of your character? Yo Watanabe, she is 16 years old. She's in high school. So that means that my makeup, I'm going to want to give a nice youthful feel, a nice youthful glow to the skin. I'm not going to want to do anything too full coverage, too heavy. Also, Yo, as far as I'm aware, she does not really wear makeup. So that's another thing. We're going to have to make it look like we're not wearing makeup, even though we're wearing makeup. So that's fun. Although there are certain liberties you can take with her being an anime character, because her features are a little more exaggerated. Her features are a little bit more perfect, so you can kind of get away with a little bit more. So now that my skin is all moisturized, I'm going to go into my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, just to add a little boost of hydration to the skin, make it look really nice. I don't really know how much this does, but I definitely do notice a little bit of a difference with it and without it, so I'm going to use it. Then I'm going to go in, since I want to look flawless, I'm going to go in with my Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. This has broad spectrum SPF 15, so we're giving nice sun coverage today. I'm going to take the little spatula and just paint it on my face. This is a sample size. This is a sample size, trial size, whatever you want to call it. So the actual one, I believe, comes with a pump, but I have got the sample today, so that's what I'm using. So I'm just going to put some along my face. That might be too much, but whatever. It all blends. Okay, now that's all nice and in the skin, we're going to go ahead and start off with foundation. I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is in the color Snow. I'm a little bit... My skin's a little tricky with foundation, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go ahead and just pump a little bit directly onto the sponge. I'm using the Real Techniques sponge. I really like it. And I'm just going to go in and pounce this in with this beauty sponge. Now, my skin does a weird thing with foundation, and it'll oxidize no matter what shade it is, no matter what foundation it is. It just oxidizes for no good reason. So I have to buy foundation that is lighter than my skin tone. I usually have to buy something that is a cool undertone in the fairest shade available. So apologies if I'm a little yellow or a little orange or anything. I really like the Born This Way foundation because it photographs really nicely. It doesn't have any sunscreen in it, which helps to minimize flashback because we put a lot of sunscreen underneath this. So our skin is going to be protected, but we're going to have a nice layer or two between, we're going to have a nice layer of foundation and powder between the sunscreen and the camera. I hate it when I get an itch while I'm doing my foundation. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure this is nice and blended. Take it down past my jaw, onto my neck, just so it doesn't give a harsh line. Put it on my ears a little bit as well. And I'm just gonna go in with one more, like a 3/4 pump on my forehead. Okay, so now that it's all nice and blended in there, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my concealer. For concealer today, I'm going to use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Very Fair. And we're not going to do any crazy highlighting, contouring like we see beauty gurus doing nowadays. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just doesn't serve for the purposes of our makeup today. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to just put some underneath the eyes, try and conceal all of the sleep that we didn't get. Try and wake ourselves up just a little bit. I'm just going to do like a little half moon shape under my eyes. And then I'm also going to dab just a tiny bit over my darker freckles, just to hide them a little bit. Not that I have anything against my freckles. I love my freckles. But anime characters don't have freckles, and I'm going to go in just with the pointed side of the sponge and just blend that away. I really like the Too Faced Born This Way stuff for more youthful characters because it gives me enough coverage to conceal the fact that I am 23 and I don't sleep, and while making myself look 16 and well rested. So I'm going to put just a little bit more of that concealer just on the darkest patches of my dark circles. What I really like about this concealer is it has a nice like peachy undertone to it, so it helps to counteract those dark circles a little bit better. But it's still very hydrating, still very soft and easy to wear. Now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I'm just going to get a good amount in the lid, and I'm just going to dunk my sponge directly in there, get some powder on her, and go in under my eyes first, just to really set that concealer in place. Ooh, whew, hello. Then I'm going to go in on my hairline where I tend to sweat the most. I'm going to go in with the butt end of the sponge now, like that. And I'm just going to pounce this in on my hairline, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use this same method to set the rest of my face, because we want this to last all day. We don't want this to move. If we get stopped for photos, we want to look flawless and gorgeous in all of them. Because who are you kidding? Even if it's the end of the day, you're exhausted, you just want to go back to your hotel room and sleep. If somebody stops you for a photo, you're going to feel honored, you're going to feel touched, and you're going to want to you're going to want to let them take that photo. So you don't want to be looking like a melted hot mess at the end of the day. Or if you're just eating your pancakes over at Denny's, then, and for some reason you haven't taken off your wig and half your cosplay yet, someone asked for a photo, you want her to still be there. I'm going to dab a little bit on my ears because I put a little foundation on my ears. Okay, so one of the main things that drew me to this powder is the fact that it has hyaluronic acid in it. And I have pretty severe dry patches right here on my cheeks, so that is really nice for me. And I need to set. I need to set my makeup. I can't get away without setting it. So now I'm just going to take this nice big fluffy brush from Wet n Wild. It's their powder brush. And I'm just going to do circular motions and just wipe off any of that excess powder while simultaneously buffing in the powder that I need there. I feel like this gives just a really nice finish when I do it this way. It helps to make it look not cakey, not weird, not gross, but it also helps it to look very smooth and flawless and beautiful, and just really helps to buff that powder in and make sure that she is set and laid in place. She's not going to move. I'm not going to be doing anything crazy, anything blue, green, purple, red, orange, yellow. We're just going to be doing basic eyebrows. Yo doesn't really have a whole lot of shape to her eyebrows that I can see, that I can tell. So I'm just going to basically be doing what I normally do. I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer in the shade Ebony. And I'm just going to very lightly fill in on the areas that need it. I don't really need to do a whole lot of shape or a whole lot of crazy definition or anything. I can just basically just go in, pat, 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 brush, 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 and just give her a little bit more of a something something there. Give me a little more brow than I naturally have. It does not take long for me to do my brows, mostly because I have no skill in doing brows. So my brows just kind of end up looking natural, thick, bushy, kind of shapeless. You know, there's not a whole lot that we do with our brows here on my channel. What we do with our brows, we do our best. So now we get to move on to the eyes. This is my favorite part. For eyes, the palettes that I take to conventions, I take this little guy. This is the Smashbox Cover Shot Bold Eye Palette. She looks like this. She's got all the different colors of the rainbow. She's beautiful. I love her. I actually end up using her for a mirror a lot of the times, and I have been throughout this video. But then the other palette that I take with me is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. I love this palette. She is well loved. She is well traveled. She goes everywhere with me. I love her dearly. For my eye makeup today, we don't need to do anything crazy. I'm going to we just need to add a little bit more definition to the eyes, a little bit something something so it shows up on camera a little better. So I am going to take this brush right here. It's a no-name brush from a no-name brand from like a dollar store, but it's very fluffy, it's very shapeless, it's just kind of there, and it's not very dense, but it's a little bit dense. It's a nice brush. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to dip into Silk Cream, which is that top row third in from the left. I'm just going to tap a little bit, even though we don't need it because Miss Jaclyn did not do us dirty. And I'm just going to tuck this into my crease kind of messily, kind of sloppily. I actually end up doing this with my eye closed, not even looking at the mirror. And I do windshield wiper motion, so I'm doing this, and then I'm doing a little bit of this on the inner and outer corner, a little bit of circles. I'm exaggerating now. I do them much smaller on the lid, but this is just going to make sure this color is nice and blended and in there and gorgeous and flawless. And she looks good. That's what she looks like. I actually probably still have a little bit of another color on this brush, so mubby. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just tuck this in. Very nice and blended, nice and beautiful. Alright, gorgeous, flawless, beautiful. Now, I'm going to take my Morphe M433 right here. It's this little tapered blending brush. And I'm just going to go in with Central Park, which is that nice neutral brown down in the very bottom row of the palette, third from the right. And I'm just going to tuck that in right there on the very crease. When I dip into the palette, I'm just dipping the very tip of the brush in, and I'm concentrating this right where I need the definition the most. Like that. Do the same thing on the other side. Just again giving some definition to the eyes. Beautiful, amazing, gorgeous. So now I'm just going to take my clean hand and I'm going to go into In Light, which is that top left shade in the palette, the very first. And I'm going to go ahead and just drag this across my eyelid. Super quick, super easy. Very pretty, just very subtle. Just a little bit of definition, nothing too crazy. Alright, so that is it for the top eyelid. I'm going to go in now on the bottom. I'm going to go in on the lower lash line now with this e.l.f. Precise Shadow Brush, I think. Professional Shadow Brush. And I'm just going to go in with Silk Cream, that first color we used, in the top left of the palette, third from the left. I'm just going to go in on the underneath of my eye and tuck that very close to the lash line. And then smoke it out just a little bit. Just give me a little something something down there. And then I'm just going to barely dip into Central Park, that second color, third from the right in the bottom of the palette. And I'm going to tuck that closest to the lash line and smudge it just a little so there's no harsh lines. Just the littlest bit, I mean barely tapping in that pan. It's much easier to build it up than it is to take it away. There we go. Just a little definition to the eyes. Nothing too crazy, nothing too ham. Now we're going to go ahead and do our eyeliner. Now this part is fun. I like this part, and by I like this part and this part's fun, I mean this part is the part that stresses me out the most and gives me the most anxiety. So I'm going to start off with a nice black eyeliner. A black crayon pencil eyeliner. I'm using the Kat Von D Basket Case Anti-Precision eyeliner. You don't need anything precise, you don't need anything crazy. In fact, a dull pencil probably works the best. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and tightline my upper lash line. How I'm going to do this is I'm going to hold my mirror, I'm going to hold it down here by my chin, I'm going to look down at it. I'm going to open my eye really wide, and I'm going to push my lash line up with that crayon, and I'm just going to smudge it back and forth, giving my eye a break when necessary, and just like that. Just doing the outer 2/3. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it does enough that it's worth it. See? Eyeliner, no eyeliner. Eyeliner, no eyeliner. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, just doing the outer 2/3. Not going too crazy with my eyes. And then I'm going to take it and I'm going to outline the outer third of my lower lash line. I'm not going to go any further in than the bottom of my eye, than the bottom of the color part of my eye. Just the outer third, because if I go too far in, it's going to make my eyes appear smaller. But this is going to facilitate the eyes looking a little bit larger, a little bit more awake, a little bit more lifelike. So now I'm going to go ahead and go in with my liquid eyeliner for the lid and to create that shape that we're looking for. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper. This is a little sample that I got in a Sephora Playbox, but I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. This is my favorite eyeliner ever. Now for this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to stamp the eyeliner. I'm going to get closer so you guys can see. I'm going to stamp the eyeliner in on my lash line. I'm not really even dragging it. I'm just, oops, that's a little too high. That's okay. I'm just going to stamp her in just so we have that definition. And then on the outer corner, I'm going to take the very tip and I'm just going to drag it down. I'm going to mark a little dot on the outer corner right there where I want the triangle shape to end. And then I'm just going to boop, 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 boop. Right in, down on the lower lash line, meeting up with that black that I put in the outer third of my waterline. Make a triangle just like that. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, which you guys are probably going to be able to see a little bit better, but it's a little harder for me because I'm right-handed. I got to go back-handed to stamp that eyeliner in place on the lash line. Apologies if you can't see what I'm doing very well. Try my best. So, just stamping it on the lash line. We don't want her getting too thick. And then I'm going to take the tip. And I'm going to mark where that is going to end. And then drag it up. And then in towards the lower lash line. And then I'm going to actually drag across the lid to make a nice smooth line. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side from the outer corner going in. I'm going to drag and make a nice smooth line across the top of my eyelash. So we should have something like that. Just very soft, subtle, gives us that nice eye shape. And that is it for the eyeliner. Now everything else is easy. So, next step. I'm going to take my Hoola Bronzer by Benefit. And I'm going to take this nice Morphe M530, which is a nice bronzing brush. I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to ever so slightly bronze up my face a little bit. Now, there's not really a whole lot of definition, again, to her face. But Yo's dad is the captain of an ocean liner, and she lives in a seaside town. So she's going to be a little bit more tan than your average con goer. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of bronziness, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of life to my face. Just a little bit is all I'm going to need. I don't want it to look too harsh, too crazy. Like that. That's it. Just a little. Barely there. Now it's time for my blush. I'm going to take my favorite of all time, Becca Mineral Blush in Flower Child. I love this blush because it's a very soft pinky peach, and it's got a nice soft gold reflect to it, which is going to look so beautiful on our skin. And I'm going to dip, this is an EcoTools brush. I got this in 2008, and it's all I've ever used for blush. I'm going to smile real big. And you see this nice roundness right here on our cheeks? That is exactly where we're going to apply our blush. So we look like a nice, soft, beautiful, youthful anime character. Just right there in that little circle. It's going to look a little exaggerated, a little crazy without our wig and everything, but once we put on our wig and our outfit, it's going to look perfect. Like that. And now I'm also going to put a little bit on the center of my nose. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose, the center of my forehead, and on my chin, just to give, again, a nice youthful glow to my skin. And don't worry if you put a little bit too much. We're just going to go back in with that powder brush and just calm it down a little bit. But we're going to keep the blush on the cheeks concentrated right there. We're not going to go back like a lot of people do. A lot of people go up and onto the fully on the cheekbone. No, we're going to leave ours nice and centered on the center of the face. And then that's really it. I don't like to do highlighter when I cosplay because I feel like it's a little much. I feel like it doesn't really facilitate anything for the character. So now I'm going to go ahead and set. But you haven't done your mascara or lips yet. That's okay. I'm going to set first. I find... One second. Whew. And then I'm just going to take this fan and just... I find that when I put my setting spray on after I do my mascara, pardon me, I'm keeping my eyes closed and my eyes don't water. I find that when I do setting spray after mascara, my mascara will run and transfer. Whereas if I do my mascara afterwards, it still lasts for the same amount of time. but it doesn't transfer onto my face, which is good. Ooh, okay. So now normally I would apply lashes with my mascara, but I don't have any lashes today. I had to throw out my lashes. So, pardonnez-moi, I don't have those. So I'm just going to go ahead and go in with my current Buxom mascara. I've been using this lately. It's not my most ultimate mega favorite, but it separates the lashes nicely. It doesn't clump them together, and it makes them nice and black. And that's honestly what we need when we're doing falsies. So again, I like to hold my mirror down by my chin, same way I did my tight lining on my upper lash line. And I like to do that mirror technique, holding the mirror the same way for my eyelashes, for my top lashes, just so I don't get too crazy, too ham, and so I can see more easily what I'm doing. Okay, so there's my mascara all done. Didn't really do much, but that's okay. Okay, so this is a technique that I don't usually do for everyday makeup. This is not a very defined lip technique, but it's nice for cosplay, for characters that don't really wear makeup. So I'm going to take Jeffree Star X Manny MUA. I'm Shook. It's a nice burnt coral kind of color, which is nice. I'm going to just put a few dots right on the inner rim of my lips. Just like that. And then I'm just going to use my finger and lightly rub. I'm going to keep it concentrated on the center. And just rub my lips together like that. So it just gives a nice effect, but it's nothing overwhelming. It's very beautiful, very youthful. Doesn't look like I'm wearing lipstick, but I am. Looks like I'm wearing lipstick, but the character's not. So that's what we're aiming for. So now I think it's time for the wig. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below so that I know to make more. And comment down below and tell me what is your favorite cosplay makeup tip or trick that you've learned over time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!